Today, my family and I will be praying for both candidates, Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump. This year, I made this speech for the 2016 presidential election. Who would you vote for this November if you had the right to vote? What are the reasons you would vote for a particular candidate? If I were voting in November for the president, I would choose Donald Trump. I would choose him for several reasons. The first reason is his stand regarding the fight against terrorism, especially terrorism in the United States. Secondly, I like his approach towards the economy. I would like to someday to be able to find a job in the United States rather than in another country. Thirdly, I believe Trump's desire to control illegal immigration will stabilize the financial well-being of future generations. Lastly, I agree with his stand on our Second Amendment rights, the right to own a gun. Trump will make a better choice for president. He will protect our country, rebuild our economy, and stand for the rights of all U.S. citizens. Firstly, I would like to talk about terrorism. 81% of people believe that the United States is becoming more dangerous with regards to terrorism. According to the latest report from Visions of Humanity, under President Bush, 7,654 people had been killed by terrorism. However, since Obama took office, 32,658 people have been killed by terrorism globally. In other words, 4 times as many people have died as a result of terrorism under President Obama's watch. Hillary's policies on terrorism are similar to President Obama's. President Obama has let 85,000 refugees in the United States this year. Next year, we are going to take in over 100,000 refugees. Hillary's proposals for background checks are inadequate and virtually ensure that members of terrorist groups will be welcomed into this country as refugees, making us all less safe. In Europe, where there has been a refugee surge, Germany has reported an extra 402,741 crimes because of the refugees. Since 2013, 4 out of the 30 terrorists were refugees who were responsible for attacks. In Europe, according to a Breitbart report, Hillary Clinton wants to make no changes to our refugee policies. Trump wants a better system where proper background checks are done on the refugees before we grant them the freedom to live in our country. Just like there are requirements before you enter our country regarding health care and exposure to disease, Trump wants to make sure some of the refugees have not attended terrorist training camps or have radical views with regards to radical Islamic terrorism. In 1907, Theodore Roosevelt shared some of the same ideas as Donald Trump with regards to immigration. Roosevelt said, in the first place, we should insist that if the immigrant who comes here in good faith becomes an American and assimilates himself to us, he shall be treated on an exact equality with everyone else. For it is an outrage to discriminate against any such man because of creed or birthplace or origin. But this is predicated upon the person's becoming in every facet an American and nothing but an American. There could be no divided allegiance here. Any man who says he is an American but something else also isn't an American at all. We have room for but one flag, the American flag. And we have room for but one sole loyalty, and that is the loyalty of the American people. Secondly, our economy. Before Obama was in office, our national debt was $10 trillion. Now it has doubled under Obama's leadership and is now $20 trillion. This amount is a problem because with more debt, the value of the dollar goes down and prices go up. For example, the dollar is worth less than it was 8 years ago because more people have a U.S. dollar. According to USA Today, the value of the dollar has decreased nearly 50% in value under President Obama. Hillary Clinton will continue the same spending policies and our debt will continue to rise and the value of the dollar will continue to fall. Donald Trump wants to help our economy by helping businesses in the United States and taxing foreign businesses. Hillary Clinton wants to keep spending money, and she wants to make it harder for a U.S. company to succeed by imposing difficult regulations on businesses. If the companies don't succeed, you and I will not have opportunities for a good paying job, and we will have to live with our parents until we are 30. I was looking in my house for products made in the USA, and it was hard to find anything. What does this tell us? Companies are not in business in the US. I found a lot of products from China and Mexico. For instance, this plane was made in China. When it flies back into the US, China is free to sell with no tax. Donald Trump wants to wants to help charge foreign companies to sell their products, which helps the U.S. to cut down their debt and causes U.S. businesses to stay here in order to make money. Wouldn't it be nice if our products that actually said USA were actually made in the USA? Trump wants to encourage businesses and corporations to stay here in the USA. And he wants to encourage businesses that have moved to other countries to come back to the USA to make their products here. By businesses and corporations staying here in the USA, this will provide more jobs and our economy will grow. Let's make America great again by growing our economy. Thirdly, illegal immigrants. The United States of Homeland Security has estimated that there are 11.1 million illegal immigrants in the United States. Trump wants to make it harder for a foreigner to enter the United States. Illegal immigrants compose 17% of the prison population in California. It costs the U.S. $4.3 billion a year to pay for illegal immigrants' medical bills. Controlling our border would help make America great again. And last of all, our Second Amendment rights. Donald Trump wants to protect our Second Amendment. Hillary Clinton wants to restrict our ability to own a gun. There are several reasons I do not believe gun control will stop violence. First of all, Chicago has strict gun laws. There are no gun stores in Chicago because they have all been outlawed. However, according to the Chicago Tribune, Chicago had the most homicides of all U.S. cities in 2015. Strict gun laws are obviously not helping the violence in Chicago. Since Australia's ban on guns, the number of firearm offenses has increased from about 2,400 to 5,000 in 2016. In other words, firearm offenses have doubled. According to the Crime Statistics Agency, known criminals were caught with firearms 750 times last year compared to 143 times in 2011. According to American Gun Facts, the United Kingdom case study possession of handguns is illegal in the UK. The UK has 2,034 violent crimes per 100,000 people. However, in the US, where it is legal, there are only 466 violent crimes per 100,000 people. In other words, only 1/5 of the crime. Since the ban in 1997, the United Kingdom violent attacks have gone up 77%. In 1982, Kennesaw, Georgia passed a law requiring heads of households to keep at least one firearm. The burglary rate in Kennesaw dropped 89%. Trump wants to protect our Second Amendment rights, which will continue to make America great and safe again. In conclusion, in 2008, President Obama said, Senator Clinton is someone who has taken more money from lobbyists than any other candidate, Democrat or Republican. This is the same person who took money from financial folks on Wall Street and then voted for a bankruptcy bill that makes it harder for folks to get a fair shake. This is the same person who spent a decade campaigning with her husband for NAFTA and now goes around saying she was opposed to NAFTA. This is the same person who says she is voting for the Colombian trade deal, and it turns out that her top advisor was working for the Colombian government to get the bill passed. Hillary Clinton will not make America great again. President Obama didn't think so. Donald Trump is interested in helping all U.S. citizens by growing our economy, fighting terrorism, controlling illegal immigration, and protecting our Second Amendment rights. All of these things are reasons I would vote for Donald Trump because I want the United States of America to be great again.